The radiation detector's frantic clicking had gone silent 3 hours ago. Elena Martinez stumbled through the crystalline wasteland, her environmental suit's oxygen gauge blinking red warnings she no longer had the strength to acknowledge. The convergence machines had turned Earth's atmosphere into a cocktail of xenon compounds and metallic particles, beautiful to look at, deadly to breathe. Her legs gave out beside what appeared to be a natural rock formation. As consciousness faded, she noticed the formation's edges were too precise, too geometric. Then everything went black. Elena awakened to the soft hum of air recyclers and the warm glow of bioluminescent panels. She lay on a makeshift cot inside what was clearly an underground shelter, her suit's helmet removed, breathing clean air for the first time in weeks. The space around her was cramped but functional. Hydroponic gardens lined one wall, while banks of jury-rigged electronics occupied another. "You're awake." The voice came from behind a partition of salvaged metal sheets. "Your suit's decontamination cycle just finished. Nasty radiation exposure, but nothing fatal." A man emerged, perhaps 40 years old, with the kind of lean build that spoke of careful rationing rather than malnutrition. His dark hair was streaked with premature gray, and his eyes held the particular weariness Elena had seen in other survivors. But there was something else, an alertness, an intelligence that seemed almost familiar. "I'm Marcus Webb," he said, offering her a cup of recycled water. "Former xenobiologist at the Berkeley Institute." "And you are?" "Elena Martinez. Atmospheric engineer from the Luna colony." She studied his face, trying to place where she'd seen those features before. "How long have you been down here?" "Since the convergence began terraforming operations." "About 18 months. Marcus settled into a chair constructed from polymer scraps and fusion battery housings. "I've been monitoring their atmospheric processors, trying to understand their end goal." Elena sat up slowly, her body still weak from radiation exposure. "Their end goal is obvious, they're making Earth suitable for their physiology. Silicon-based organisms that process metallic compounds. That's what everyone assumed." Marcus activated a holographic display from a salvaged tablet. "But look at these atmospheric readings I've been collecting." The data stream showed complex chemical equations and molecular diagrams. Elena's engineering background allowed her to follow the information, but what she saw made no sense. "These compounds," she whispered, "they're not creating a silicon-based atmosphere. They're building something else entirely." Marcus nodded grimly. "The convergence isn't terraforming for themselves. They're contractors, preparing Earth for a third party. Something that requires an atmosphere so exotic, so precisely calibrated, that they needed to eliminate human industrial interference first." The implications hit Elena like a physical blow. The evacuation ships to Luna, Mars, Europa never reached their destinations. "I intercepted some convergence communications before they encrypted their networks. The colony ships were intercepted and processed for genetic material." Elena's hand trembled as she set down the water cup. "How many?" Surface population when the convergence arrived was 8.7 billion. Current estimates suggest fewer than 10,000 humans remain on Earth. Most in deep underground facilities or remote locations the machines haven't prioritized for processing. The shelter fell silent except for the gentle hum of life support systems. Elena stared at the hydroponic gardens, at the careful efficiency of Marcus's survival setup, at the complex monitoring equipment he'd assembled from salvaged components. "You're not just hiding down here," she realized. "You're studying them. Learning." Marcus's expression hardened. "The beings they're preparing Earth for, they're not just terraforming for atmospheric compatibility. The genetic processing suggests they're planning to integrate biological components into their ecosystem. Human components." Elena felt the weight of their situation settle over her like a heavy blanket. Above them, machines continued their methodical transformation of the world, while below, two of perhaps the last free humans on Earth planned their impossible resistance against forces that had already reduced their entire species to an endangered population. "So what do we do?" she asked. Marcus smiled, and for the first time, she saw hope in his expression. "We find the others. And then we find a way to turn their own precision against them."